So the escalation that we were fearing from Trump has now commenced. The Independent says, Trump administration sending federal officers to Cleveland, Detroit, and Milwaukee. So this is what we were worrying about. We thought, like, fuck, what if he really sends these federal troops, like, anywhere he wants, casually, willy-nilly, overriding state and local officials? That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. Now, there was another story that came out where apparently he's going to take them out of Portland. So that's a good thing if he actually follows through and does it. It's yet to be seen. The only saving grace of this story is that at least as of right now, they're reporting only 100 federal officers to Cleveland, Detroit, and Milwaukee. But having said that, this is not good. This is not their purview. This is not what they should be doing. The conservative position, which would be an acceptable conservative position, is that if you really want to crack down and bring back law and order, you do have to leave it to the police. You know, that's their job. You don't have federal troops invade American cities unwanted. They don't even have the authority to do a lot of what they've been doing, like the secret arrests in Portland. People are just dragged out of the streets and interrogated by Department of Homeland Security officials. Well, like a paramilitary. We have like the Border Patrol all decked out in camo in the streets. This is quite literally un-American and unacceptable. Now, listen, the thing I can't get out of my head, I just can't get over this. Look at how quickly the federal government reacted when there was civil unrest. There were protests. There were instances of rioting and looting, for sure. It has mostly been peaceful, but there were, like Minneapolis in the first few nights, yes, there was rioting and looting. But they acted immediately. Compare how quickly they act when it's responding to this versus COVID-19. So, in theory, the reason why the government is sending these federal troops is, oh my God, we have to protect Americans. We have to protect Americans and protect our beautiful cities. Yeah, that same logic, except applied to COVID-19, please. Do you want to protect Americans? Do you want to protect your beautiful cities? Well, we got 150,000 people who are now dead as a result of this virus. We have millions of people who have had the virus. And the official numbers probably lag way behind the real numbers. The real numbers are probably at least 10 times as high. You know, how is that not a priority? And the solutions are so simple. And he doesn't want to do it. If we just had universal masks from mid-March, we would have cut this death rate massively. Didn't want to do it. And that's as restricting of your freedom as wearing a freaking seatbelt. And it's going to save a lot more lives if you just wear the mask. He didn't do that. He can't be bothered to save American lives by saying, wear a mask. But he can be bothered to send federal agents who are actually, and here's the most important point, they're actually going to exacerbate the problem. When you send federal troops into the streets uncalled for, unwanted, you're exacerbating the problem. And this is one of the biggest issues people have with Trump, is that he always seems to add fuel to the fire. He always seems to exacerbate whatever issues there are. Whenever you have a time of crisis, the nation wants a steady hand of leadership, a steady, stable hand of leadership who tries to bring Americans together. Trump is fundamentally the opposite. He's a lightning rod. He's divisive. He's a bomb thrower. He takes a side, he goes out there, and he argues for it relentlessly. Well, guess what? That's going to lead to more people pouring out in the streets and more protests and more riots and more violence. That's what's going to happen if they took a hands-off approach and just left it to the states and left it to, you know, the towns. You would have a situation where it dies off faster, for sure. And I think that as these things have carried on, you have had a situation where there's more of a focus on just anybody who does violence or the people who should get arrested and try to hands off of the peaceful protesters type situation. But when the feds get involved, and we've already seen this in Portland, they're just randomly snatching people off the streets, bro. And that, of course, is unconstitutional. It's wrong. It's counterproductive. It's immoral. And it will lead to more devastation. It will lead to more protests, more bodies in the streets, and it will extend the shelf life of what's going on now. And by the way, again, we're just getting started because this is over the George Floyd protest. There is going to come a time where if 40 or 50% of the country can't make their housing payment, wait until you see the protests and riots over that. Just wait. Just wait. But here we go. He's sending them to Cleveland, Detroit, Milwaukee. Who knows if they ask for them? Who knows if they want them? Who knows if this is going to be, if this is legal in any way, shape, or form? It certainly looks like the president has a paramilitary force to me.